Hey everyone, it is Tuesday, May 30th, 2017, and it's time to go to work on music. It's been a great day so far, and I'm in a good place. So, just touching on what I was dealing with in yesterday's video with the timing thing, I did make some big adjustments starting during the session yesterday while I was talking to you guys, and today was a big improvement over the past few weeks. Was it perfect? No. I'm definitely still battling my old habits, and I can feel some discomfort as I adjust to sort of a new structure. But I did technically make it on time to the session today, so I don't think I'm going to follow through with skipping tomorrow's session, but I might, depending on how I gauge it, because something did come up earlier today that's sort of more in the realm of like unavoidable personal conflict kind of stuff, and I could have skated over it. I could have just not dealt with it and just showed up for the session anyway, and maybe that would have been the right move. But I decided to deal with it in the moment, and so that cost me maybe about 15 minutes or 20 minutes or something like that. So I don't know. I have to decide for myself because I'm sort of like the judge and the jury of this whole process here, if that constitutes a deviation from the normal plan, and I'll let you guys know what I decide on that. But one thing I do know is I definitely am going to make some adjustments today so that tomorrow I have a little buffer time in case something like that comes up, because stuff like that is going to come up. That is stuff you can plan for, even though it's spontaneous. Like you can't really plan for exactly what's going to happen, but you can plan for things to happen that could compromise you. And I think that is wise, and so I want to incorporate that into my system. So again, just give me feedback, like whatever you guys think about your own time management systems when things come up. How do you handle it? What do you do? I want to know, and let's share it. Let's get it on the internet so that anyone watching this in the future who's dealing with this, because this is probably a universal thing, can get some tools to make themselves better, and we can kind of use our experience and our failures to help push things forward for everybody, including ourselves. So I'm not sure if there's more to say about that. Yeah, I'm just going to get into the session and I'll let you guys know what I decide. So the good news is I've got a ton of time to work with today because I actually stuck to my plan. And we're going to hit some online classes. We're going to do a little bit extra on that than I normally would do because on post workout days, I did go to the gym last night. Post workout days, I like to give myself a little more physical recovery time versus like pushing myself a lot physically. And we're going to be doing some pretty hefty tracking of guitar parts later today, probably. So I want to make sure that I've got some gas in the tank for that. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to do some drum work, and then we're going to hit the production front hard, knock out these chorus takes, and just really start to kick up the velocity on this track. So I'll share as much as I can as we go. Let's get into it. All right, excellent session. Feeling very good, and actually done a little bit early for once, which is crazy. So I guess showing up on time pays off. Imagine that. But anyway, I got into the online class front. I just hit that super briefly to make sure that I didn't compromise my recording session, which is really the main priority right now. I am learning a little bit more about the Ear Sketch library. I'll fill you guys in on all the details of that when I have like a little more breadth. Then I got in the music business front, just learning a little bit more about budgeting, what to do if you have a budget or if you're going to crowdfund a budget, which I think is interesting. Um, then I got in on the harmony front and just moved forward a tiny bit, learning that there's really a couple different ways to use multiple chords in a song, and the way they lay it out in the book, you read it and you're like, oh, that's so obvious. But just knowing, like, just having it written down in a book and intellectualizing it for some reason gives you a way of thinking about it that's a little more useful. It's like a chunk of information that you can access whenever you want. I don't know a better way to say that, but it's almost like, you know, having a bunch of beads just like laid out on a desk, like mixed up together, versus like having them sorted by color in little boxes, and then you can just be a little more intentional about how you pick up the beads. Not that you couldn't do that with all of them laid out in front of you, but it's just like a little more organized, if that makes sense. Same data, same raw material. So I am happy with that. Basically, you can either have the chords cycling over and over and over again, or you can have things moving away from the tonic and then coming back home to the tonic. That's my alarm right there. So anyway, that was great. And then I took a short break, did some reading out of my Recording Secrets for the Small Studio book by Mike Senior. Amazing series of books, especially Mixing Secrets for the Small Studio. Just had an enormous impact on me, and it's just an incredible resource for independent musicians. Please read it. Your music will sound infinitely better. Then I moved into the production front, so I was just listening back to the takes I did yesterday and realizing that they were alright. You know, it's nothing special, but not that far off sonically from where I wanted to be. They were just a little off in terms of like energy and tightness of the performance. So I got in and just did like maybe another 10 or 12 takes just now, and the first ones I knocked out were sounded pretty good. So I'll listen back to them tomorrow. So I had like 30 extra minutes. I was like, okay, I'll just keep doing more takes and see what happens. And then I was getting some really awesome ones, things I was liking a lot, and I might comp them. I might comp some of the best ones together just for different things I want. I'll see how that sounds. But yeah, then the takes started kind of degrading as I was getting a little fatigued. So I just stopped a little early, and I think I got enough for what I need now. And if they really suck and I want to redo them later, I'll come back and redo them. But for now, I have something I can work with and build the rest of the track around that's at least, you know, very, very close, if not exact, to what the ultimate product will be. So I think that's definitely the direction I'm going with this track right now, is just getting everything sketched out from start to finish, and then I can come back and fine-tune and totally dial things in once I have the big picture in mind. And I think that can be a very good way of problem solving and dealing with things, because it's easier to prioritize if you have the big picture. So that's where I'm at today. I just appreciate you guys for tuning in. Hope you guys are out there grinding towards your goals, enjoying the process as much as possible. That's what I'm out here doing, and I'm excited to see you guys tomorrow for more. Till then.